Woke culture infecting Australian business. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. We're going to get some insight into a world some of us may not have experienced. Now, there is a, woke movement growing, festering, shall we say, in corporate Australia. I first encountered it when I was looking at the Australian company directors organisation there, their body, their professional training, events. It sounded good. And then a gentleman I met who we'd worked with, who was one of our clients or a client representative at a large government-run organisation here in Brisbane, ended up working there. I was making some comments on LinkedIn just about this whole gender wage gap rubbish where, well, it's not actually real. It's more to do with different lifestyle choices in people. And, of course, he towed the line. He towed the line, the beliefs that there is, an inherent disparity because people are sexist and discriminate against women in this country. It's interesting looking in that Australia Talks survey, so many women feel that they're discriminated against, when, frankly, it's the complete opposite. So let's have a look at this. This, for a major Australian company, is sent to me by a viewer, and I'll keep it secret what company it is, but it's their diversity and inclusion dashboard. Now, I thought we should have a look at this just so, normal people can see it. Everyone, and let's turn on my palette here. I'm using the Copic on my thing. So here we've got it. Infraco percent female representation, early career 48.1. Now they don't have a target, but the fact that they actually have this in itself is something concerning everyone. Female representatives and executives. Now they're beating their target. Their target's 33%. They're at 46.2%. Female representatives and management non-executive. So they're at 22.9. Their target is 21. Exchange and infrastructure. Here the target's 21 and they're at 25. Here at 33. Fantastic. And NBN services at 19.6. So they're below their target. Here they're above it at 23.8. And only 7.7% in sales. You'd think that'd be higher, wouldn't you, if it was sales? Here you've got strategy and business operations at 40%. Towers and poles. Target is at 20%. They've got 0. 0, everyone. So, what am I doing here? We'll shut this. You've got relationships, again, 0. And here, I've hidden these ones at 37.5%. So depending on the organization, let's see if I can just image. We'll just default out. Depending on the organization depends on if they've reached their target. But, this is it, everyone. You are now, if you're working in this organization, you are just a tick box. You're in a tick box determined by your genitals. That is, you're ticking a box for them so someone in human resources can meet these criteria and then probably report it to the government. This is the type of rubbish that Labor wants to grow even more. They want this crap to permeate more and more organizations, wasting time on this. This is a complete and utter waste of time. If you're a female, if you're male, if you're indigenous, if you're disabled, if you're LGBTQ+, what does that have to do with your job? For most people, nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you're a woke leftist, you may be able to turn it into a job by going on YouTube or on, Tumblr, or becoming a professional political activist, sure. But for someone working in a management role in corporate Australia, should that even be something that's anyone's business? Should your sexual orientation be something that you should be expected to talk about to your employer? Back in the day, it's something you don't mention. It's private. It's got nothing to do with work. Why is work expected to deal with this? And why? Why is there this woke, progressive bullshit movement pushing for this invasion of people's privacy more and more and more here in Australia? Could you imagine just working in a place like this that has this type of... Just think, If this is what they've got here as a dashboard, if this is how they're seeing people, this is how human resources aren't there to help you. Human resources are there to tick boxes, ensure compliance, and get marketing spin that they can use, and to get rid of the troublemakers. So, I mean, think about it. They've got all these targets here to meet certain percentages of women. What if you're not? What if you're a bloke? You're going to hit the glass ceiling, lads. Scott Adams talks about it in his book. He left the banking sector because he couldn't get promoted anymore. They were looking for women, or they wanted ethnic people. So, female representation of the workforce. Here we go. They're only 29.2%, not 31%. So they're below. So they're going to hire more women. 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 Here, they're 51.4%. Here we go, 37.1%. Here, they're going to have to hire more women. Here, so where they're green, they're going to obviously fire the women to get them down to that percentage. Well, look at this. Actually, no. See here, guys. Look at this. We're above. We're sexist. We're above. There are too many women now. It should be exactly 50-50. So they're going to, in these two, they're going to have to fire all of the women in this organization and all the women in this section too to get down to 50. You need to trim the numbers, guys. Perfectly equal. Wow. Female representation, reward and recognition. So nominations. Okay, I mean, there you go. Look, 69.2%. So most of them going to women, most of them going to women, most of them, 100% going to women for this representation and awards. I remember there was a lecturer at QUT who was telling Rachel about this Crystal Vision Award in the construction industry. And, it's this generational thing. It's the boomer generation, the Gen Xers. I suspect a lot of them encountered discrimination based on your sex in the workplace. Not so much anymore. At least we've been told to ignore that or not even to worry about it. Younger generations. But now it's going the complete opposite because these old boomers and Gen Xers are still up there. They believe in this crazy fantasy in their head that people, the reason we don't have 50-50 is because of systematic issues. The reason we don't have 50% representation is because people make choices. People make choices. They still have individual freedom. Don't worry, I know the communists are going to push to get rid of that. You have allocated working, but it's because people have choices. Rachel is now, majority of her time, a mother. She's still working on projects. We pick and choose what we want to work on. But, she's had the role being the architect for an international brand, doing all of that. It's not worth it, honestly, when you think about the bigger picture, when you grow up and realize what's actually important, what you want to prioritize in your life, compared to having a family, raising children, compared to working for a soulless corporation that does not give a crap about you in the slightest. So many people buy into this stuff. An organization this big that treats you just as, by your genitals or race, you're a tick box for them, that's disgusting. Think about it. What are they going to care about you? They will not. They will be disappointed if their stats go down. They won't care about you at all as a person. So, okay, the people in these groups, milk this while you can, guys. I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. Women who are going to take advantage of this to get promotions, to earn more money, go and do it. Go and do it. It's not fair, but life isn't, is it? Here we go. Percent of training completed for Indigenous Australians. I've got a target of 75%. They're only at 41.2. Is that... Okay, so I'm not sure if this means the Indigenous workers, how many of them actually completed the training, or if there's training that people need to do about indoctrination with regards to Indigenous issues. Those are other concerns in themselves. Here they're hitting 75%, 70%, 10%. I know there's a few issues with here in Australia where you've got companies incentivized, like Indigenous-owned companies are given preference on certain tenders and things like that. So then you get these builders that go and set up these quasi-companies and just have people in figurehead roles that don't do anything. Or how does it help people get jobs, or how does it help communities? That's the problem. Whereas I saw one builder, what they had done, they wanted to help Indigenous Australians. So they hired a Aboriginal guy who was an ex-athlete to be their cultural coordinator. So to coordinate with some of these young blokes that were coming up and doing these apprenticeships, because there was a cultural shift. Because some of them were from fatherless homes, or people were in, family members were in prison. They weren't used to keeping a schedule. They weren't used to even having proper shoes to wear. All of these real simple things that, well, they needed someone there to help communicate that stuff you wouldn't actually think about. And that worked quite well. And that was encouraging. That was some actual legitimate help for people. Private business, none of this woke bullshit, getting out there and doing stuff. That was encouraging to see. Okay, training completed for LGBTQ. I mean, 0.2, 2.1, 0%, 0%, 0%. I don't know what training you have to have. I mean, is it... If you're gay, you're going to tell your workplace that you are? I mean, come on. I guess maybe if you want to, in a big place, you want to, pick up at the work party or Christmas party. I don't know. I know, it's something you come up, you talk about in conversations when you're talking about relationships you have, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever, but it shouldn't be something that your workplace should track. I really hope this isn't some indoctrination training. I really hope it isn't. But come on. So training completed for disability. Now, this is the one thing that I think is worth looking at because, well, from an architect's perspective, time and time again, we would have to make arguments to people to ensure they maintained a minimum level of accessibility to their buildings in order to not be compromised for the DDA, Disability Discrimination Act. Often we'd be doing mining jobs and they'd still have to comply with these things. And they're saying, well, we'll never have a disabled person on the site. Well, I'm going, well, maybe you will have someone that's been injured and they're rehabilitating. You can still have them working in the office, but then they can use their crutches to go up the ramp. Or if you want to move something up, up or down the ramp, there are other avenues for this. And, if we can get it on a mine, accessible buildings, you can get it in many other places. My issue with is the push to make it a requirement in all residential buildings, which is excessive. That's just going to increase the cost of housing even more. That isn't necessary. I'd rather you modify stock for those people that need it, or you design places that can be modified to age in place. Those are slightly different things than just mandating that everything needs to comply with these requirements. You don't want to have a disabled toilet in every house, guys. That is going to just cost a fortune, and it's going to take up a lot of space. So I thought we would have a look at this, everyone. Just some insight into the woke world of corporate Australia. What do you think? Do you see these type of things in your work? It's been many years since I've worked for a large organization like this. I've gone out and been on my own for a long time. What's it like out there, guys? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Do you have to jump through these hoops? Is it getting as bad as we're seeing over in America? And you work with people that believe in this type of rubbish. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Bye now.